On today's show, we will talk about how do we grow our relationship with God in those dry spells. And later we will have Harry Houck join us to talk about team effort. Oh, the tongue. Let me say it again. Oh, that tongue. It sure can get us into a lot of trouble, can't it? The tongue, or as we often refer to it, our mouth, is something that can be very difficult to control. How often do we speak before we really think? Or how often do we let circumstances and situations dictate what flows from our mouth? I know this is one of the hardest things for me to get under control. And even if I get it right one day, well, that doesn't mean I will get it right the next day, and that can be very frustrating. And the thing is, I don't even really want to say the things I'm saying, but for whatever reason, they just come out. What I've learned, though, is it's something that daily needs to be worked on, and it will only get better as I spend time with God, renewing my mind, getting my heart set on Him. I've learned I've had to be more intentional with this and even be willing to apologize when I do get it wrong. And guess what? This is a whole other issue for me to work on. Geez, I sure am glad God doesn't give up on me because I have so much to work on. But words, those things that come out of my mouth, we truly do need to be more careful about. What would people say about what they're hearing you say and how you're talking and responding to those stressful situations? Are we using our words to build up, to encourage, love others, or are we constantly tearing down, gossiping, even yelling? Words matter, and they can change the whole atmosphere. So let's tell others that we love them. Tell others that you are proud of them. Tell others something that can maybe just brighten their day. Who knows what it may truly do for that person? Don't let your words be the cause of someone feeling off for that day. And can I say, if you are feeling off, maybe put that worship music on, fill the mind with the goodness of God. Because James 3:9-11 says, with the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse human beings who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers and sisters, this should not be. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? I encourage you to read this whole chapter on the tongue. So, work on what you say, and when we come back, it's just three ladies with big opinions, always backed by a biblical standpoint. Let's talk about it.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, if you can dream it, we can create it. They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. And ladies, have you ever had those moments when you're going through a dry spell with God, when it just feels like, oh, I don't want to open my Bible, maybe you don't want to go to church. It's just like, something's in you that you can't get going. What do you do? How do we get past it? Arlene?
Yeah, I think in a marriage relationship, it's not that John and I actually keep each other accountable for things, but we know that we ebb and flow personally, and thank you, Jesus, it's not usually at the same time. And there have been times he will go through a dry spell and I'll just be like, listen, I know you're going through a hard time. I am going to believe for you. I am going to pray for you, and we are going to get through this. And then he does the same thing for me.
That's good.
Does the same thing for me. And I think in friendships, you can do that too. When you are close to somebody or you do a Bible study with somebody, you get to know the intimate details of each other's lives, what you're going through. And you can say, I will be that friend that digs through the roof and puts your mat down in front of Jesus.
Yeah.
When you cannot believe for yourself, I will believe for you.
Yeah. It's good. Teresa, how about you?
Like dry spell. Okay. I don't know that I would call it a dry spell, just like you said, a difficult time. And you're questioning life and why did this happen and why did that, like recently my life's been status quo and then the sky fell. And it really, I'm still walking that out. I'm a little mad. Like, Lord, I've prayed about this for a long time and this is how it ended. Like, really? But I never stop worshiping. Never. Worship may be difficult at times, but it will make the difficult times shorter. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel. I may sing songs that I don't really believe.
Absolutely.
I
You
might
do
think,
it
Lord,
because
I
it's
know,
the thing to do.
Yeah, but not even that I don't believe it. Maybe I don't feel like
Feel it.
But I do it, and I feel that helps.
Yeah. For sure.
And as women, we are such emotional beings anyway.
Yes,
It
yes.
looks different for us than it would look for a man.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was, like I said, just a few short weeks ago, I was on the struggle bus big time. And I was ugly. I was very ugly. And John said to me, he goes, you need to let this go. You need to get yourself anchored. He says, because you get upset and you want hair, skin, and teeth.
Yeah.
And I thought, I need to calm down. I need to calm down. I am aggressive. I can feel the aggression. I am aggressive. I need to find a way for that to dissipate. But I never stopped reading my word. And every day, no matter what the story was, may not have even fully applied, but words stood out off of the page to me that helped calm me down. Helped calm me down.
Yeah.
So a dry spell can be caused by a lot of things.
That's
It
right.
can be caused by just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Life is just blah, blah, blah. Or something can happen.
Right.
A lot of things can cause it. You just can't stay there.
Right.
You cannot stay there.
I was trying to think about dry spells, and for me, sometimes I can't even pinpoint like this is what caused the dry spell.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like I can't say, well, this is why I'm in a dry spell, but I know why I stayed there. I can tell you. I one day became like, oh, I won't read the word. Became 2 days.
Yes.
Became a week. Became 2 weeks. Became a month. And yeah, I'm stuck in a dry spell.
Well, and you realize the only time you're in the Word is on a Sunday morning at church. When I realize that it's been a whole week,
Right.
I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in a bad place.
Right.
I've got to just do the right thing, even when it doesn't feel like the right thing.
Right.
We sang a song in the play, and it was the more I seek you, the more I find you, the more I find you, the more I love you. And I think that is pivotal for me. That is pivotal, that I have to continue seeking and finding. And I have found that since I started to read the Bible in a year, it's made me more disciplined. And it has made me really, really love him. Like really, really. And really understand him so much better. There are still some things that I've had to pray and say, Lord, I don't understand why anybody would do this, much less you, to a people. So you need to help me understand, but I do think that's pivotal. I find that I may not always get a dry spell with every area, but one of the areas is praying. Sometimes I get lazy, or I get
Lazy is a good word.
It is a good word.
That's a good word, better than dry spell.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I get lazy, and that's terrible.
Yeah. Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah, for me, I realized that, like you said with the song, the more I seek you. So the more I'm seeking him, the less dry spells I have.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The more that it's not part of my life, the more dry spells I have. So if I'm continually in the Word, in prayer, in worship, Bible studies, things that are pouring into me and then I'm pouring out to others, both of those things happening cause me to stay away from the dry spells.
Honestly, what you said is key. you fill yourself up, but that can't be all. We have to be giving out too. And yes, it is important to be helping our Christian friends, but we should be pouring out to the world, to the people who don't know Jesus.
Our neighbors.
Absolutely.
People at the restaurants, people in the stores. Yeah. Looking for opportunities. And not that we're doing it to necessarily feel a certain way, but there is something that happens when you do it, that there's a joy that rises up in you. There's an excitement. There's wanting to do it more.
Yes, it becomes a part of who you are. If you constantly practice the pouring out, it becomes a part of who you are. We just then, if we constantly get busy doing, we can't forget to fill back up.
That's right.
Right. And
you're right.
I have someone in my life very close to me that I am trying to sow into and to pour into, and it was in the midst of this mess. There's no other way to call it. It's just a mess. Affected a lot of people. And I started calling this person every day, and speaking words of life into this person and speaking scripture over this person. And even every day, I listen to the same song once a day, every day. And it says, hell lost another one, I am free. Well, now I put names. As if it happened. Because I believe if I keep saying it, it's going to happen. So I'm just going to throw names out there. Hell lost another one, Jane is free. Hell lost another one, Teresa's free. Hell lost another one, John is free. And I just keep putting names and believing that one day when I sing that song, it will have actually happened. So even just in doing that, it just wells up and wells up and wells up.
And sometimes I think too, when we're going through some, even just a dry day, maybe like not a dry spell, that sometimes you have to just really be intentional to work through it and push through it. There are Sundays that I come in here, and that maybe at Transformation Church that I come in and I don't necessarily maybe want to go up front and praise the Lord.
You don't feel like it.
Maybe I just want to sit down.
Right.
But I have to work past that to say, I know that when I go up front to worship, there's freedom there and there's a different atmosphere there. So I'm going to push through my feelings of whatever is kind of keeping me from that, and I'm going to do it anyways. And sometimes we just have to do it anyways.
That's right. And there are some days I feel like I'm in a funk.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I feel sorry for myself for whatever reason. I'm going to say this. I will allow myself a time period. I'll say, okay, Arlene, you can have 30 minutes of feeling sorry for yourself. You can have 15 minutes of feeling sorry for yourself. And then you're going to be done.
Right.
You're going to be done.
That's good. Because, we need to sometimes talk to ourselves and say, that's it.
That's right.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. And pull ourselves out.
Yep.
It's our job. God will help and support.
Absolutely.
But it's our job to stop talking negatively.
Yes.
Stop letting all the junk just sit there and take over. It's time to renew the mind. Get on that worship music. Get in the Word. Whatever we need to do. Use the tools that we've been given to draw ourselves out of that funk. Like we need to do that and not stay there. Because the minute you stay there, it becomes longer and longer.
The devil gets a foothold.
Yep.
Right.
And you get comfortable there.
Right. You do. That's good. You do get comfortable there. So if you feel like you're in a dry spell and you're not sure what to do, open that Bible, get in the Word, put on that worship music, let it change the atmosphere. Because I guarantee those two things right there will be key in getting you out of that funk. Do not stay there. When we come back, we will have our guest of the day.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It, and today we have our guest with us, Harry Houck, and I'm guessing if you watch our show, you might have seen a commercial
That's right.
about his business, Harry's Construction, but we're actually going to talk about something a little different with him. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the Altoona area most of my life. I've been in business for 33 years, been involved with the Lighthouse Ministry for 25 years, and with Team Effort leader for 13 years.
Awesome. Now, today we're here to talk about Team Effort, and what is that?
It's a mission group that started 30 years ago, and what it does is sends middle school to high school kids out into the mission field with their church leaders to do all kind of work for elderly and people that can't quite afford to have things done, and just minister to the people. And over the 30 years, they have seen over 200,000 middle school and high school kids come through their camps.
So Harry, when you say they send them out to the mission field, what does that look like for Team Effort?
They're going to, right now we have 13, we're in 13 states.
Oh, okay.
And the churches will send them out, they'll get lists of what needs done. And once we get them out there, it might be building the deck today or a handicap ramp. They don't know until the week they get here exactly what they're going to be doing.
So frequently we think of missions as always being overseas.
Right.
We have a group that comes directly to Altoona, isn't that right?
Yep, they come here from all over the United States. They come by bus, vans, whatever it might be, and they come here to bless our city for 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
And what time period is like?
Starts the first week of June,
First week of June.
and ends the end of July.
Harry, do they not pay their own way?
Yes, they
Oh,
pay
jeez.
about $400 to get here. That pays for their lodging, their food and everything, and part of that money goes to the material for the homeowners, and because the homeowners don't pay nothing
Oh,
to have this work
wow.
done.
Yep.
Okay.
Now I think, oh, you're having a middle school kid work on my house? No way, back off. So how does that happen?
Well, the church youth groups send chaperones with them, and some of them know something about construction or painting or whatever it might be. And then my role in the whole thing is to check the sites out each day. I spend hours on sites. We might have 6 sites going, and I'll go and make sure everything's going okay. If they need help, training, whatever it might be, and some of my guys, depending on what we need. But this summer we have 800 kids coming over that 8 weeks.
800 kids.
800 kids.
Coming here.
Yeah,
Coming
but each week is a group of kids.
Oh, it's not the same.
It's not the same ones
okay,
for the
okay,
whole
okay.
summer.
Okay.
It's a different group each week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there will be 7 that come and stay the whole 8 weeks. They're what they call the leaders for Team Effort. They go
Oh,
to
okay.
training for 2 weeks and everything, and that's who I work directly with.
And honestly, years ago, John and I met the people from Team Effort, and we worked with them for a few years before Harry got involved. I have never met such quality young people
Arlene, I was
as
gonna
come
say
with
that
from Team Effort.
Last year was my first time ever hearing about it, and we cooked a meal for them.
Yes.
And not knowing what to expect, I have no idea. They were so sweet.
Yeah.
And so appreciative. I think every single one of them was like, "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much."
Wow.
They were so sweet.
It's amazing to see that young children wanting to learn, and what amazes me more than anything is they're paying to come here
They're paying
Yeah.
to come here and work,
and work.
for free.
And the
Yeah.
worship, we have chapel every night starting Sunday through Thursday. Thursday night is our best chapel. Sunday, when they get here, they're kind of like a little scatter here or there. They stay in their own little corners. By Wednesday, they're starting to connect what I see at the chapel. And Thursday night, they're locking arms up in front of the service together. And it's all different denomination. It's not one specific denomination.
Right.
And that's what it's about. It's about that name, not a name tag. It's about that relationship with Christ, not their name.
Who houses?
I was going to ask that. Who keeps the
Up at
kids?
Scott Durbin, up where Penn State campus, not at the campus, but it's Scott Durbin's property.
Okay.
And he leases it to the kids for the summer.
Oh, that's
And
pretty cool.
There are a lot of people in our community. There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
having this group come. People who are behind the scenes, and over the years, it's looked different.
Oh my word! Look, compared to 13 years ago, when I was asked to do this, I thought, Lord, what am I getting myself into? I had no clue.
Yeah.
And prayed about it. I thought, yeah, I'll do it. Well, 2 years into it, I'm still not sure about this thing. Well, then my wife got involved, and she's a big part of it also. And when she got involved, made things a little easier. So she's the camp grandma, they call her.
Yeah.
Aw.
And she cooks for them, and sometimes the leaders just need somebody's shoulder to cry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And they'll go to the house and talk to my wife. So she's a big part of it.
I mean, I would imagine it takes a lot of organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts out right about February.
Oh,
Wow.
And March now, I've been in churches since the first week of March through the end of April presenting some of the stuff. And we've had so much participation from churches that are feeding them. All 8 weeks are covered every Tuesday night. Church is covered to feed them.
Because each group that comes on Tuesday nights, a church volunteers to feed the groups.
Yes.
And
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
you'll have small churches that will feed a smaller group of students.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
interesting.
And it's a lot of fun. And to see them kids connecting is
Yes.
that's the part. And the stories. I mean, what I look forward to is when they leave here and go back to their homes, what they learned here, and for them to use it in their home.
Yeah, for
of
sure.
What happened. And I tell everybody, the paint's going to fade, the wood's going to rot, but the testimonies and the stories that those kids heard over those weeks are going to be amazing.
Yeah, I look at it, it's such a cool thing because it's not only ministering to whoever you're helping build something for or work on, but you're also ministering to these teens, so it's like twofold. Like,
And the homeowners.
yeah,
There's two particular homeowners that come into mind for me, and one used to be a worship leader in our town, and he had a pretty bad stroke, and he's not able to do anything. So these kids spent 6 weeks of last summer at his house getting it put together.
wow.
And at the very end of it, he was able to play Amazing Grace on his piano, which brought the tears. I mean,
Because the kids had gotten to know him.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was the amazing part. And then we had another fellow that had a stroke, and this was probably about 7, 8 years ago. The homeowner had a stroke. When I got there, I was talking to the homeowners, and the wife told me about it, and she said, he's really depressed and this and that. I said, can I talk to him? And she said, sure. Well, I had had a stroke 2, 3 years prior to that. And the good Lord, through prayer, I was healed from that stroke. I was put 99% back together. So it was an encouragement to him that it can happen.
Yeah.
And his wife said by the end of the time the kids left, his attitude was much better.
Yeah.
So
And what I also love about this is you're bringing these middle school and high school students. Sometimes they can get a
bad rap.
bad rap.
Absolutely.
And here, like you said, they're coming free will to just come and do this.
Yep.
And there are good kids out there that want to build into their community, into their city.
yeah.
And one of the things that Harry and Sue and John and I have seen, because the campers come on Sunday night and they leave on Thursday night.
They leave
Friday
anywhere from
morning?
Friday morning to Saturday morning.
Okay.
Depending.
But it is a chance for now Harry and Sue, and before John and I, to pour into the leaders. And we used to take them. I mean, we would do kayaking or do something. Harry and Sue do the same kind of things, have them in their home. Some of those people don't know each other when they come, and they get to know each other. How many weddings have we been to? We get birth announcements. We stay in touch with
Right,
them.
it's long-lasting.
Yes, it is lasting.
It's like we've created a whole new family.
Yes.
Absolutely. I feel the same way.
And it's just, I don't know, it just makes you feel wonderful.
It
Yes.
does.
So if there's a teenager that would like to be involved with this, how do they get to know about it? How can they connect?
Well, we have to get through Team Effort's office and let them do it. I mean, we can do it different churches here. I talked to Justin about it this year, and it would be a little less money because if they wanted to stay at their own home instead of going through the campus back here and staying. It'd be less because they wouldn't be paying for lodging, but the parents would have to get them to the campus location at 7 a.m. in the morning and pick them up at the lighthouse at 9:30.
But they can go to Team Effort's website.
They go to their website and
Yeah.
find all this out.
And we'll put that
Yeah, we'll put
also.
the link up on. Yeah.
Yep.
It's-
Because you can plan for next year.
yeah.
You can plan for next year.
Yeah.
And another amazing part of this is our county commissioners are so on board with this that we've gotten a grant. Now, this is the third year in a row we've got a grant from our commissioners.
Oh, that makes
And-
me happy.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
That
So
makes me
they get a
happy.
bad, the commissioners get a bad rap a lot of times that they're not doing things for the community they should be doing. But when we were there this past year, they looked at us and said, this is a breath of fresh air. We're happy to
Aw,
see
that's
something
great.
good happening instead of all the negative stuff.
Right.
So
Well, I am just blessed to hear about this and what you guys are doing in the community. And I would encourage people watching, pray. Pray for these kids, pray for this team because they are doing a great thing. So when we come back, we'll have our tip for the day.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
The tip I would like to share with you today is how to throw a successful party. As a mom, I'm throwing lots of birthday parties and even a graduation party this year. I've had to throw bridal showers, baby showers, and more. And sometimes these events can be pretty stressful, but I have a few tips that may just help you enjoy the party. First, always start to plan early. Leaving it till the last minute will cause so much stress. At this point, you will want to pick a date and a time, make a list of what you will need and when it needs to be done. For example, find a bakery sooner than later for the cake to make sure they have your date open. And then finding a venue is also something that should be done early on. Then, I encourage you to pick a theme. I'm all about a good theme. The theme will help with what colors to choose and what you want to do with the decorations and even how the cake looks. And then thirdly, plan the food. Food is so important, so have fun with it. Connect it to the theme if you can. For example, if hosting a graduation party, you could do a candy table with the candy representing different things, like the Tootsie Rolls for honor rolls, or Smarties labeled "Aren't You a Smartie?" Lastly, use Pinterest to get ideas to help you along so that you don't have to do it all yourself. And you can even ask friends and family to help. You see, parties don't have to be so stressful if you plan and take the time to just enjoy the day. I myself need to work on that. But in the end, it's all about creating memories and being with friends and family. If you have a tip to help when it comes to party planning, let us know. Now, I've got some sad news. This is our last new episode for this season, but we will be back in September. But I encourage you, if there's one that you missed along the way, why not go back and find it? Or you can catch us on ABC 23 on Sundays at 5:30 in the morning or 12:30 in the afternoon. And until then, let's talk about it.